Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast live. Yes. Here we go, and I got my main man, the Transformer, here with me. Big Red's not going to be here tonight. G might show up a little bit later. He had some obligations to our wonderful nation to take care of, so we gotta put that first and take care of that. But like I said, I got my main man Transformer here with me, and we are gonna get it done. What's good, Transformer?
Man, not a thing but a chicken wing, man. I had drills this weekend too, so tell G no excuses, man. But shout out, salute to him.
I hear that, no doubt. All right, so we got some pretty interesting topics for you here today, as you can see by the rundown. Definitely gonna have some good sports talk like we always do. But before we get to that, you know what time it is. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't wait. There we go. So now we got those excuse me, we got those particulars out of the way. We can go ahead and get right to it. So
no, man, we not finna skip over something real quick, man. Shout out to the bass that big baritone Bruce be putting in on the introduction, guys, man. Shout it out. Welcome to the Format Podcast, man. I promise, man. I appreciate that, I'm like, boy.
You're a funny dude, Transformer. You're a funny dude, man. We do what we do. So you know what? Before we even get into these topics, man, a couple of interesting notes I definitely wanted to touch on. What's good, Nick? Always good to see you in here, man. Appreciate that.
What's going on, Nick? Hit like Barry White.
My
everything. In the
Practice
answer to
what you preach. Oh my goodness.
We love you, dudes, man. We love you.
I appreciate that, brother. No doubt. So you know what's funny? What was it last week when we had to talk? It was either last week or week before, and we had to talk about the Olympic flag bearer, right? And I was saying how I didn't think it should be LeBron, and I think it was G asked, like, if it's not LeBron, who should it be, right? Mm-hmm. And so remember I said Katie Ledecky, right? And and I probably should have said Simone Biles. That's a more well-known person, but more well-known Olympic athlete. But I said Katie Ledecky. That was the first one that came to my mind. You like, who's Katie Ledecky? So let me just remind you of something here, right? Katie Ledecky won the 800-meter freestyle today, I believe.
I saw it.
So, yeah, hear this. With the victory, Ledecky won her 9th Olympic gold medal, the most ever by an American woman in any Olympic sport. It also ties her with Soviet gymnast Larissa Latinya for the most golds won by any woman in any sport in Olympic history. Latinya competed in 1956, 1960, 64 Olympics. Ledecky's 14 total medals are also the most ever won by an American woman in Olympic history in any sport, and the most ever won by a female Olympic swimmer from any nation. So remember, I was saying she's like arguably our most decorated Olympic athlete. That was why I came up with that name as someone who should have who was I think better to be a flag bearer than LeBron. Yeah. So that was like what up, Sneed? What's good, bro? Good to see you in the chat, man. But yeah, that was definitely one of the reasons that I had said her name, because I'm like, she might not be a household name, but if you follow the Olympics at all, like, she is 100% legit, right? She is one of our quote unquote one of our goats in Olympic sports. You know what I mean? So that's why I have brought that up.
She definitely did her thing today, man. Shout out to USA, man. Shout out to Ledecky. I watched that entire race, man. I was like, yo, look, they're swimming for 8 minutes straight. 8 minutes straight. Like, I'm exhausted after 30 seconds.
Right? Right?
I'm exhausted.
I can swim, and swimming at 25 is like, Woo! After a 25, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, she's swimming 800s and 1500s. I'm like, oh,
Yo,
like
look,
I'm
man.
I'm watching these competitors, and I'm like, man, these people they are absolute monsters. So
No,
yeah,
man,
it's
it was one heck of a race, man. I was looking at how they ended it. You know,
mhm.
when they touched the end of the lap, neither one of them were breathing hard. I'm like, I'm imagining
Crazy,
myself
right?
like I'm about to be
Right.
somebody get me out of this water, but I'm about to pass out, man. You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
help me, dog.
yeah, crazy that level of conditioning, man. It really is special. It really is
No,
special.
absolutely,
Sneed,
man.
thanks for that. Thanks for that shout, man. I just took care of that. If you refresh your YouTube page, it should probably be good now. Um, but yeah. So Katie Ledecky, man, real deal. She is a problem. And that, like I said, that's why I had suggested that she was the one who, could have been the flag bearer. And again, Simone Biles is another one. She's right there. It's not that serious. What's good, bro? Haven't seen you in a minute. Fantastic. Good to have you back. Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
What's
Thanks so
going
much
on,
for
brother?
joining
What's
us.
going on?
Yeah, it's not that
No, I mean,
serious as one of our
my biggest thing
loyal
about it,
listeners.
man, like I said, you couldn't, like I said, we just can't go wrong. You know what I mean? Like it could be a debate on whether who you want. I believe Simone Biles would have been an option. I think she has
Hmm.
something going on that way she wouldn't have been able to do it. So I think
Yeah,
that's why she wasn't one of the ones that voted to be the flag bearer or whatnot. But you know what I
right.
mean? It's a like big factors, man. I mean, Braun is the bigger name, the household name. You know,
Yeah,
people know
yeah.
him the most.
Hmm.
Then one, I mean, two, we got to know if Ledecky wanted to do it. I mean, you got to kind of want
I,
to do
I,
it.
I can't imagine anyone on the Olympic delegation would say no if they were approached about being a flag bearer. I
Oh,
can't
would you?
imagine anyone would say no. Would you?
Oh, hell no. I'm there.
Exactly. Like
I'm
that.
Captain
That.
America, baby. I'm
Yeah.
out there.
Even if you don't win your event or you don't medal, like just being the flag bearer, excuse me, for the delegation is
Yeah.
something that puts you down in history. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I see it. But it's all good. But yeah, that I was just that's why she came to mind when we were having that discussion. So
Yeah. Sneed, why, man? Why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you do it, man? You shy? Hit him up there, shaking with the stick. Go America. Go America.
Right.
I believe in you, Sneed. I believe you would have been a great flag bearer, bro.
No doubt,
Just
no doubt.
stand there and look proud. You know what I mean? You don't even got to say nothing, G.
There it is. There it is. All right, gentlemen. So let's go ahead and I think I should have written them down, man. I totally forgot. I had a couple more like newsworthy notes that I wanted to bring up in the world of sports, but not the other one I had. Yeah. I hear you, Sneed. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, we're gonna leave it
Hey,
right there.
keep it there, man. Keep it right there.
Yeah, we gonna leave it right there. Get demonetized and all that. All right, so another sports topic I wanted to bring up was I don't know if you heard about Caleb Williams in the Bears locker room. Uh, I guess within the last few days, and it became a story because he basically pulled everybody together and told them, "Hey guys, we're a bunch of grown men in here. Let's try to make things easier, I guess, on the janitorial crew, and pick up after yourselves, etc." So Colin Cowherd was talking about this, so he's like, "It's not everything, but it's a little thing, and it shows attention to detail, and all the greats have the attention to detail, and that's a great thing to see." But then Amani Toomer, longtime former New York Giant wide receiver, came out and blasted Caleb Williams. He was like, who are you to come in here? I don't even know if you can play yet. You just a rookie. You coming in here telling me what to do, and I've been in this locker room for however many years already. Amani
True.
Toomer's like, hey, rookie, how about you clean up after me? You
Big
know what I'm
facts.
saying?
That's the way it would have been
That's the
back in the
way it used to
90s,
be.
early 2000s.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
all right, well, you pick it up, scrub.
Right.
You ain't earned your stripes here yet, man.
Exactly. So I've heard, a couple of different players giving their thoughts on it. Was it Plaxico Burress and TJ Hushmanzada and LeVar Arrington were all talking about it today on I can't remember the
What,
show.
speak?
Up on Game.
Oh, up on
No,
game.
they
Okay.
were on Up on Game on their Fox Sports radio show that they do every
Gotcha.
Saturday at noon. And they were all kind of in agreement with Caleb Williams, like, it shows attention to detail, and it shouldn't be an issue that he's saying this, because as a grown man, you probably shouldn't have to be told that anyway. But
Yeah.
I so I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on how you felt about Caleb as a rookie. I don't know if that's his way of showing that he pays attention to detail, or his way of trying to demonstrate some level of leadership at an early stage in his career. So what were your thoughts on it?
First of all, attention to detail, and we talk about janitorial things, man. Seriously,
Well, I
that's what
guess
they
it's all the
said.
little things,
That
you know what I'm
attention to
saying?
detail.
Yeah, I guess it's because the little things, right? And it's funny, like myself over the last 2 years, like I would have a habit, like if I throw something by the trash and it don't get in there, whatever, not that serious. I just leave it. Or you know what I'm saying? And I really had to retrain myself to say, do the little things because the little things add up. And so and I'm not the biggest Caleb Williams guy, and I'm not necessarily saying yay or nay on this whole thing, but the little things do add up, and maybe they show that he's conscientious and he takes the small things seriously, because maybe just by saying, okay, let's do a better job being a little more clean with our stuff in the locker room, maybe that demonstrates, okay, he's going to take the little things seriously, like how he watches film, or how he takes the handoff, or how he
Yeah,
prepares for
yeah,
practice, how he lays out his uniform, all these things which in the grand scheme don't seem like much, but all add up to what could be being an outstanding player in the NFL, right? Because if you talk about all the all-time greats, and I'm not saying he's going to be one, I'm not saying he's not, but you talk about all the all-time greats, they all did like the little things, and the
yeah.
little things are what build up to the big things, their foundation. Yeah,
I mean,
it's not that serious.
we're,
I
we're
definitely
gonna.
feel
We're,
you.
I would care about the little things once you show me you can play first, man. Like
Yeah,
we're like
yeah,
I mean, we talking about trash. The
yeah.
Bears are trash. How about let's getting us to win some games, man. Like let's win a couple
Do
of
I
games.
hear a Packer fan talking?
I don't see a rookie coming into an establishment where I've probably been busting my ass for 5-6 years, and he coming in and we're talking about trash. Man, we trash. How about we trash? All right, we need to fix ourselves first before we talk about some freaking picking up trash off the ground, man. And first, you're a rookie, man. I get it. First round overall pick. You know, you got a
Mm-hmm.
lot of attention. You come in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback's the head of the household when it comes to the
Mm-hmm.
team
Mm-hmm.
and aspect. But you still a rookie, man. You're still a rookie. You
Right.
can't come in here telling veterans what to do, man. Like I get where they trying to go with it, but it's too
Right.
soon. Now, if you were to tell me he did this next year and he's like
Yeah.
coming in
Yeah.
next year, like, okay, he's resharpening the focus. Like, hey man, Caleb
Mm-hmm.
Williams came in after a good showing last month and last year, and you know he's paying a little bit more attention to detail. Like that shows me growth as a player, but you haven't even shown me you a player yet. You know what I mean? We talking about trash. It's like Allen Iverson talking about practice. We talking about trash, man.
No,
Like, we talking about trash.
I can see both sides of the argument. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hear your point, but I guess just trying to show that he's conscientious and the little things make a difference, right?
I mean, the man does paint his fingernails. So I mean, as a man who
Yeah,
paints
I'm
his
not.
fingernails, you would think that he a little clean.
What?
You would think that he a little clean. He likes to be clean, a little neat freak. You know, I got to make sure my hands is good. You know, I don't want to touch dirt. You know,
I don't necessarily see that correlation, but I'm gonna leave it alone. I'll just say, as a man, I certainly don't agree that men should be painting their fingernails, and I'll leave it at that. Nick, so Nick, man, here's the deal, right? The Bears, Ryan Poles deserves a lot of credit over the last maybe 18 months or so. He's done a lot to help rebuild that roster and bring in
I would
quality
agree.
guys that can hopefully help Caleb Williams have a level of success, right? Because they saw how bad the team was going to be. They saw that they were likely going to get the number 1 draft pick by by result of Carolina being so bad. And so
Carolina.
what are they saying? Yeah. So what are they saying? They're like, okay, let's go ahead and help this young man out. He's supposed to be generational. If we're going to take him, we got to put him in a position to have success. And I think they've done everything they could thus far to put that to get that ball rolling. And so now
I would agree.
it's up to him and how he accepts coaching and the coaches. So we'll see. He's in a much better position than Justin Fields was in when he got there.
Absolutely. You got like
Mm-hmm.
3 number 1s on your team right now as
Yeah,
far as
yeah.
receivers.
You got receivers. You have a better defense. You now have a real legitimate OC. Like you got a lot of things going on that can help you have
Yeah.
success if you're Caleb Williams. But yeah, we talked about NFC North last week, so I don't need. I wasn't intending for this thing to get back to a whole protracted Bears
I mean,
discussion. But
you started the show by talking about trash. So I
I
mean,
did. I did.
yeah.
Here we go. Okay, Packer man. All right,
Yeah, I
all right.
mean,
I
you
got it.
started talking about trash, a trash team
Okay.
picking up trash. I mean,
Uh-huh.
you're not wrong. I mean, it's a good way to bring in the first segment of the day. Let's go ahead and go into the AFC West preview. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, man. You got baritone Bruce. You got to make sure that voice changes a little bit, guy.
Man, yeah, for real though. If you're here in the chat, y'all, and you haven't already, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate that. All right, let's get it. We got all that stuff out the way. We hit a couple news stories. If Caleb has a meltdown in Chicago and the pros is far harder and the pressure is far harder. Yeah, it's not that serious. You're absolutely right. We're gonna see if he has the mental makeup because we saw him just struggling at USC, and that was like obviously the first time he struggled in football, probably in his football life. And
Yeah,
it didn't look good. And Chicago is a tough town full of tough people, and it's also got a tough sports media. So
tough
we'll
media,
see. Mm-hmm.
tough media. Absolutely.
Yeah, we will see what he can do. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. AFC West preview. All right, so we, as you can see, we went through the AFC and NFC North last week. So now we're gonna go through AFC and NFC West. So we're gonna kind of preview all these divisions before the season gets started. The regular season commences, just so we can kind of get an idea of what we're looking at. So what team you want to start with in the AFC West? You want to start with the champs or go somewhere else?
Just skip the champs, man. Honestly,
Okay.
what more can you say about Kansas
Mm-hmm.
City? What more can you say? I mean,
Right.
what are we going to talk about? The
Not a lot.
option and the goal of all in the NFL is to beat that guy, that team, that franchise, to dethrone them. So let's start off with some more interesting topics. Then we can finish with the champs. You know what I mean? So, I mean, because you want to set the bar too high as far as talking Kansas City, then everything's just like, then we got the Chargers,
So let's start there. Let's start there with what's up, AJ? Appreciate you, man. Let's start there with the Chargers. And the reason I want to talk about them, this is interesting, right? Because for years, everybody's been talking about Justin Herbert and how special he is, and he just got a monster contract. What did he get? About 250?
Yeah, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. So he got a huge deal this past offseason. He gets to coach everybody wanted. Jim Harbaugh, coming straight from University of Michigan, fresh off a national championship. And this is a guy. Actually, Jim Harbaugh now has the highest winning percentage of any active coach in the NFL, which is, I'm like, okay. And I mean, we've seen now the guy wins everywhere he goes, and he wins in a very specific way. Some would call it an old school way, right? He believes in physicality in the trenches, running the football, and great defense, and basically just playing sound football. Stop the run the ball, right? The way you've always won in football. And so everywhere he's been, we've seen that. He did this at San Diego. He did this at Stanford. He did this in San Francisco. 3 years in a row in the NFC Championship game, won Super Bowl. He was there. He didn't win the Super Bowl, but he got there. We know how hard that is to do in the NFL. He goes back to college.
Who did he lose against?
You know who he lost against? The Ravens, man. In what I like to call the Harbaugh.
The Harbaugh. I call it the Lights Out Bowl. I think it was I call it the Lights Out Bowl, man.
All right, little conspiracy theory. Y'all ready? You ready for this?
What's
conspiracy theory. So I think the Ravens were one of, if not the oldest team in the league that year. And remember, in the first half, they were absolutely running the Niners out of the building.
Absolutely.
And so beginning of the second half, the lights go out. And what was it, about 45 minutes or so, right?
It was a good minute.
It was a long wait. All those old guys, they got tight. They froze up again. And all of a sudden, after the break, you see the 49ers come roaring back. I think that the NFL had something that I can't prove it, obviously. I think they had something to do with that to make it a more competitive game.
I don't agree with conspiracy theorists, but that day I said somebody saw this game and said, turn the lights out. No.
Yeah, like this is terrible.
This is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Turn the lights out real quick.
Yeah, because Baltimore was smoking them, and they needed a more competitive game. They didn't want people changing the channel, especially after the halftime show, right?
Absolutely.
So
it was getting ugly fast, man. It was
right. And again, I don't have anything to prove that, obviously, but that's my little conspiracy theory on that. But yeah, Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches in football. I truly believe that. He's got a very simple way that he coaches the game, and it has yielded success everywhere. So now he's back. He's got the Chargers job. Greg Roman is his OC. That was his OC in San Francisco. So they're very familiar with each other. They share a like-mindedness on what type of scheme they're going to run. You know what it's going to be. In the draft, instead of getting an elite weapon for Justin Herbert at number 5 overall, they go and they draft Joe Alt out of Notre Dame, who is arguably the best offensive lineman in this draft.
What
and
you
so
need.
they bookend him at right tackle because they have Rashawn Slater, who I believe is all pro at left tackle. So, now they got your 2 bookend tackles. And obviously they are going to do everything they can to run the football. So it should be interesting. Let me get the schedule up here. Meanwhile, what are your thoughts on what you're going to see from Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers?
I mean, I think they're, of course, you coming straight out of college again, getting back into the league, getting back to the swing of things. I think they're about a year or 2 away, man. I'm looking at the roster here. I mean, offensively, seriously, what do you have? I mean, you lost your main 2 weapons that Justin Herbert has been trusting in, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen to other teams. So you got Joshua Palmer, Lade McCowney, and DJ Chark. So you got to build up with those guys. You lost your running back. You lost Austin Eckler, and you're trying to replace that with 2 injury-prone running backs and Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. So I think, offensively, it's going to be a little shaky. They're going to have some growing pains with that. Defensively, I mean, all your bros are still there. Jimmy Bosa's still there. I mean, not Jimmy, Joey Bosa still there. Khalil Mack, you got Asante Samuel, you got Derwin James in the back. So, I think it's going to be decent enough to where he's not going to get a lot of backlash this year, I want to say. But I think, it's definitely going to be some growing pains. I say give him a year or 2 and they should be back into the saddle, man. I mean, he has a track record that supersedes itself. So, you have to believe that he's going to turn this team around. It's just not going to be this year. Go ahead.
My bad. No, I was going to say you're not going to expect them to look like San Francisco in terms of going straight to the conference title game in their first year. That's not going to happen. But if those 2 running backs can stay healthy, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, right? Both from Baltimore. That's interesting. But anyway, yeah, man. And Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator, was with him at Michigan. He also got him from Baltimore. Very strange how the brothers are just swapping things. But anyway, but no, if those guys can stay healthy, that is exactly what Jim Harbaugh wants to do: ground and pound and play great defense. And they can rush the passer. Obviously, with Khalil Mack, you got an excellent tackler and Joey Bosa, right? If he can stay healthy as well. You got Derwin James in the secondary, who he's not the best cover guy, but he's an elite tackler at the safety position. But
absolutely.
I'm looking here, and I don't think there's not games that they can win right now. I think they probably can beat the Raiders twice. I think they can. They'll beat Carolina here in week 2.
Yeah.
I think they can probably beat the Broncos twice. Arizona should be interesting, but I think they can beat them because the key is going to be continue to play ball the way you play ball and try to minimize the amount of time Kyler Murray's on the field.
Yeah.
New Orleans, to me, just isn't good. They will probably lose to Cleveland. Cleveland's defense is elite. Tennessee, we're not sure what they are at all, but
I don't know. I like Will Levis over there, man. I think Will Levis is going to turn it up a notch this year. So
I think Will Levis is decent, but I think that defense is going to throw the kitchen sink at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cincinnati, I don't know if they're ready for that yet, because Cincinnati, I don't think they are going to be able to score enough points to deal with Cincinnati. But if they can, play them with that same type of mindset to slow the game down and shorten the game by limiting their possessions, then maybe. Baltimore, that's going to be a really tough physical matchup, but I'm going to give Baltimore the edge
for sure.
No, I think Baltimore is going to beat them.
JK, guys. JK.
No, that's Dobbins. No, but I think they beat Atlanta. Maybe they get one off
a nice
Kansas
schedule,
City.
man. This schedule isn't too bad. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
A good 9-10 games.
Yeah, it shapes up like it's not terrible. So depending on what else happens in the what up, G? Depending on what else happens in the rest of the in the rest of the conference, I mean, they may sneak into the playoffs. I don't think it's beyond the pale to say that happens. So
no, absolutely. That's a favorable schedule. That's definitely a favorable schedule. I could see him winning 9. I mean, they could sneak in 10 with that schedule like that. I mean, I would say that's a successful year. That's definitely a successful year. New coach, pretty much a new offense. You can pretty much say, I mean, you got all new guys. You know what I mean? So
what we do have to think about though. Herbert's got plantar fasciitis. So he's gonna be out for like the next 2 weeks. They say that he should be ready for the beginning of the year, but if it's not where it should be, then he's not at 100%.
That stuff creeps up on you every game.
Yeah. So who's the backup? You had the roster, right? Who's the backup quarterback there?
Backup quarterback, that is Easton Stick.
Oh boy, that's right. He was, But you know what though?
But they do got that kid out of what's that? With the Frog School, the one that got tore up by Georgia.
TCU. Okay.
TCU. Yeah, they got him.
Yeah. He's not bad. Max
Duggan.
Max Duggan. Thank you. But you know what? If anybody can make that work, it's Jim Harbaugh, right? Because he takes a lot of the game off of the quarterback's plate, right? So he knows how to.
Yes. Yeah, we've seen that with JJ McCarthy.
Exactly. Right. So, there's that. All right, let's go ahead and move to the Broncos. I don't know what
about bottom of the barrel.
Well, it's in the division, it's between them and the Raiders because I do not believe in Bo Nix at all. Sean Payton, I think he's gonna try to run the football. Your best receiver, I think, even though he wasn't that great, Jerry Jeudy, you got rid of him. So I don't know exactly what they plan to do. Like where
I'm
are
looking
the
at this roster, man?
It's
nasty, dude. This is nasty.
Not in a good way.
Cortland Sutton is like your best option.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot. That's your best option that you guys have. So I mean,
and
Bo Nix is a rookie. Your backup is
they're going to want him to start. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So I mean, at this point, you got no choice. You don't trust in Zach Wilson. Nobody did. Y'all went and got him for nothing. Jared Stidham, he's been around. You know what I mean? So there's nothing there. So I mean, at this point, you're literally throwing Bo Nix into the fire. Hey man, just showcase what you got, and then we're gonna build around that in the next couple of years. So I mean,
well, I'll say this: they drafted my guy Audric Estime out of Notre Dame, and he was a pretty good running back. Obviously, that was college, but I think he had over 1,400 rushing yards last year. Set the Notre Dame single season touchdown record with 18 rushing touchdowns, and I think he was like fifth in the nation in yards after contact. So he can, but
he's fourth on the depth chart.
Is he fourth on the depth chart right now? Is that where he's listed?
Yes.
Okay, I just actually saw a clip from him at practice either yesterday or the day before. Yeah. And somebody tried to hit him high, and he was like, "Get off me!" and just ran through the drill. But
all right, that may bust him up to third, but right now he's sitting at number 4.
All right, well, we'll see. I mean, I guess it makes sense because he still has to learn the offense. He's a rookie. You have guys that were in the scheme last year that are there already. So I get it. But yeah, I don't even think Denver deserves a whole lot of discussion, to be honest.
I mean, what are we going to discuss other than Pat Surtain? I mean, what else do you guys got over there that's worth me watching the game of football for you?
Exactly. And realistically, it's not that serious. Said it best. There it is.
Nothing.
No.
If you put your hand like this, it's that serious, and you put your other hand like this, it creates a 0. And that's exactly what Sean Payton has done. He got Russell Wilson up out of there. If you want to count that, is that a win for the Broncos?
I don't know if it's a win for the Broncos because they're paying him a lot of money this year to not be there.
Oh, so was it $35 million? I think they're paying him.
Nah,
35, 36.
It's a lot.
Oh, is it 47? I thought it was 30.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, other than that, I got nothing for you for the Broncos, man.
I don't either.
They're gonna scrape to get 4 or 5 wins.
Yeah, let's take a look at their schedule.
Is going to be under fire, so I mean, that's nasty. You're starting off nasty. You're starting off 5, 6, 7 and 0. I mean 0-7.
It could be bad. It could be bad.
I could see 0-7. You got to go to Seattle. Pittsburgh is hungry. Tampa Bay, hungry team. New York Jets got something to prove. Vegas, I mean, they got better weapons, so they can pull that out.
But they don't have a quarterback, and we'll get to them next.
I mean, they got what's his name? Minshew. Gardner Minshew can win that game.
Come on, man, stop. I mean, well, Gardner Minshew's not a bum, but they don't have a quarterback that's gonna do anything.
With Devontae Adams and Bowers? Oh yeah, we'll get over there.
Yeah, let's hold off and wait for the Raiders. Exactly. The The Chargers, they're gonna take that L.
Yeah.
The Saints, I don't even know. Toss-up game.
Is Jameis Winston still the quarterback?
No, Jameis Winston is actually the backup in Cleveland now. David
That's
Carr's the
right.
quarterback in New
Derek
Orleans.
Carr. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Carolina, they can win. They can beat Carolina.
Yes.
Then after that, they go through another blunder. You got Baltimore, Kansas City. Those are both L's.
Right.
Atlanta, they're trying to resurge. You got Kirk Cousins over there. You got
Right.
what's the running back's name?
BJ
Robinson. BJ Robinson.
Thank you. Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
So you got you're gonna lose that one. Yeah, this is gonna be tough, man. Cleveland, you still got Los Angeles again. You got Cincinnati.
That's a thought.
Again.
It's not that serious. That's a thought.
It's gonna be about 4 wins. I see him getting about 4 wins, 4-13, and calling it a year, man.
And they paid Sean Payton a lot of money and gave this dude total control. Like I don't know what you're doing, but
he about to be passing the stick soon.
right. For real. Yeah, so I think it's safe to say not much to talk about with the Broncos, so we can leave that right there. The Raiders,
they got my favorite receiver, man.
Devontae.
I love Devontae. Number 17 is what I like to call him.
What good is he without a quality quarterback to consistently get him the football, though?
That's true, but that's why you got Minshew. You got Minshew magic. You don't believe in magic?
No.
You don't
I believe in Magic Johnson. I believe in the one that used to wear that hat that you're wearing. I believe in that Magic.
Hey, I'll respect that. I'll respect that.
Absolutely.
Man. I'll respect that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think not much more I can say about the Raiders other than the name of Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers. Yeah. I wanted Brock Bowers to go to a contender, honestly, or somebody who is at least decent. I mean, the Raiders are going to be gunning for a quarterback next year. We already know that. So I think, you know what I mean, putting him in a position to where he's going to get somebody young enough to come up with him is going to be huge for him. I see them trading Devontae Adams by mid-season, the end of the year. Honestly, Devontae Adams is not going to be happy this year. He's not.
No,
you know
he's not.
AD McConnell or Gardner Minshew throwing on the ball. He's not going to be too excited about any of that.
I think with that 2 tight end thing, they're trying to mimic what New England had a lot of success with when they had Aaron Hernandez and Gronk. Meanwhile, they have Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers, which could be Brock Bowers not physically resembles, but in his style of play resembles Aaron Hernandez. And they actually call Michael Mayer Baby Gronk. Like he resembles him in terms of his style of play. If there's a quarterback that can get these guys the football. So at the end of the day, that's what it keeps getting down to. And they traded away Josh Jacobs. So it's like, okay, how are you going to run the football now? I don't know what they're going to do.
No idea. Because if you can't run, you can't get a Devontae because all they're going to do is just drop the safeties back. So it's like, you know, what am I going to do with that? So it's going to be tough for them too, man. I mean, defensively, you know, what they still got Max Crosby. Didn't they just pay him?
Yep.
They just paid him. You got Nate Hobbs back there as your cornerback. I mean, got nothing to really write home about. Christian Wilkins out of Miami.
I was about to say Christian Wilkins.
Christian Wilkins. That's a big D tackle right there. So your line is going to be straight.
D tackle and you got an edge rusher, so that's not bad. But outside of that, not a whole lot. Yeah. I'm looking at who they drafted. They didn't even draft a running back here, so it's like I think that they wanted to draft Penix, but Atlanta moved up and snatched him before they could do that.
Now, Penix, Adams, Brock Bowers.
That would have been Michael Mayer. Yeah, that would have been good. They could have done something there.
Man, that would have been a nice team.
It would have been a nice start. But yeah, I think it's over for the
I meant like for the future. My bad. I should have finished what I said. For the future. It'd have been a nice team for the future. You still would have been likely trading Devontae Adams because he is getting old. I want to say Devontae Adams is like 32 or coming up on 32. So, I mean, at that point, you know, he's not really going to grow with Penix. You know, but Brock Bowers, I mean, you can go ahead and trade Devontae Adams for a couple of picks, maybe a light receiver, or you could put him in a package to go get what's his name out of San Francisco? Ayuk. You can get Ayuk. I mean, he's young enough, 25 years old. So I mean, you got another young receiver.
If you bring him in, you got to be prepared to pay him because he wants his money.
Well, who else you paying? I mean, honestly, who else you paying? So you would have had enough money to float around to give, you know, BA. Now you got, you know, a great young receiving core. You got a young quarterback. So that would have been the vision that they probably had. But yeah, Atlanta probably screwed over their whole draft.
Yep. I think they did. So I guess we'll take a quick look at the schedule, but we know that the Ravens are going to be bad. Period. So not even that serious. But let's take a look. How do I kept cutting off that week 18? I apologize for that. All right. So open up. Loss. Maybe a win. That's a
You can
total
get a
toss
dub.
up.
You can get a dub. Bryce Young ain't ready yet.
No. They're gonna lose to Cleveland.
Yep.
Denver. Toss
They're
up.
at Denver, so that could be a toss up. They can lose that one
Yeah.
possibly. If they lose one, then they'll win the other.
Right. Loss versus Pittsburgh. Loss at Rams.
Ugh.
Loss versus. Well, no. So we didn't expect them to beat Kansas City last year. They pulled that off. But then again, Kansas City is going to remember that. So we might have a problem there. Cincinnati loss. Miami loss. Right.
Then if they lose one in Denver, they're gonna beat them in Denver. But if it's vice versa the other way, so we'll scratch that. We'll call that an even Steven toss up.
Yeah, Kansas City again. Divisional matchup. So I mean,
and
possible
Arrowhead.
They steal one. Oh yeah, probably not at Arrowhead.
Yeah, not in Arrowhead. No.
Tampa Bay loss. Atlanta loss. Jacksonville, iffy. I don't know.
Is that at home? Oh, that's at home too.
No. That's in Vegas.
Jacksonville got to search for the identity again this
year.
I
don't know what to do with them. But I don't know. They're not going to be very good.
So what you see? You see about 6-7 wins?
Yeah, I'm thinking that. No more than that. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough.
Nah, it's definitely going to be a weak division.
Yep.
I mean, other than the champs, I mean, Pat about to walk back to the playoffs backwards.
Yeah, he is.
He's about to walk backwards to the playoffs. So
he ain't
even worried about that. So I mean, my over under and betting on Kansas City games this year is going to be slim to none because they're not going to care. They're just trying to make it to the playoffs.
Right, no doubt. Yep. All right, so as you mentioned, Kansas City and the champions, back-to-back defending champions, and looking to become the first team ever in NFL history to three-peat. I think that's highly unlikely. I don't know how long you can avoid injuries, and the AFC is just too tough, man. Too many really, really good quarterbacks in that conference. So,
but are they going to be healthy when they get there? Is the question, because they got some talent, but the health is the problem. Lamar Jackson just lost 30 pounds. Is he going to hold up? Is that?
I think he is going to hold up.
Going to hold up?
Yeah, I would say so because what's his name? Derrick Henry is going to get the bulk of the attention. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
So I would say he'd hold up.
So now Joe Burrow, is he going to hold up?
That's the one I'm concerned about. Joe Burrow. I really don't know.
See, I mean, they got a shot, man. I'm not gonna lie. They do have a shot. I mean, anything is possible, like your boy KG said after he beat my Lakers. I say that. I'm a man to admit when I'm defeated. But
I mean,
anything is possible.
It's not a problem. 2 years later, you all came back and took it back from us. So it's a non-issue. You know what I'm saying?
It's even Steven.
It's all good. Yeah.
I look at this roster, man, and I see a possibility, man. I mean, when you got the greatest quarterback in the game on your side, he's young. They're moving a cap around in ways that you like, okay, where is Kansas City getting the money to pay anybody? They're moving, they're flexing around that cap so well. They drafted pretty well. They went and got extra weapons for them to open up the deep game again. Pause.
Right.
I mean, you pay Chris Jones.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, what can you do wrong? I mean, it's going to take an injury for them to like not be good. Like,
it was good
to not be in that Super Bowl contention again. You know what I mean? If anybody will beat them, it's going to come out of your division. If anybody's going to be able to beat them.
Yeah, no, it's because as we know, Joe Burrow, he plays Mahomes really well. Baltimore is going to have a chip on their shoulder. So if they get another opportunity at him, especially if it's another home game for Baltimore in the playoffs, who knows? Josh Allen, he desperately wants to beat Mahomes. So I mean, they got the target on him. You know what I'm saying?
They do.
Appreciate you, Steve. Thank you for stopping in, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, so it's going to be a huge target on their backs. So I think there's a reason why no team has been able to three-peat in NFL history, and
Yeah.
I don't anticipate. I guess if you want to give anybody a shot, it would be Mahomes. You don't want to bet against him, but I don't anticipate it happening.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Look at, I mean, I can't help but just, in a sense, blush, man. Pause. But I mean, you
No,
looking
no,
at
no.
this
I get
rock,
it.
and you're like, the weapons that this man has at his disposal. We were just complaining last year about how he didn't have weapons. Folks was dropping the ball. Kadarius Toney couldn't catch a cold in the winter, and
Mm-hmm.
made it to the Super Bowl and won it. You know what I mean? So
Right,
like they
right.
had the most drops in the league by a long shot. Won
Mm-hmm.
the Super Bowl. So now you go and give him more, like you make him better as far as a roster standpoint. You're like, yeah, what do you do as a team? I mean, this losing Snead, that's going to be a big blow.
Mm-hmm.
I think to your secondary, but what is Spagnolia back there
Steve
coaching?
Spagnuolo, man,
Yeah,
that
Steve
dude is.
Spagnuolo, he can
I
make
think
magic out of
I
defense,
think he's
man.
right there with Belichick as arguably the best big game defensive coach in history. He's that good, man.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
he
he's
knows
that
how to put
good.
these guys together. I mean,
Yeah,
Tranquil
yeah,
at the
yeah.
linebacker. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You got, I
Tranquil,
mean,
go Irish. Just want to
McDuff.
throw
Oh
that
yeah,
in there.
McDuffie. He's going with his second season. This is the second season.
Yes.
Yeah, he was good last year. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, come on,
Yeah.
man. I mean,
And so to it's not that serious's point, KC found someone that take the top off the defense. That's Xavier Worthy. If I'm not
yeah,
mistaken, Xavier Worthy just set the combine record for fastest
yeah,
fastest
4-2-1.
4.21, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, 4-2-1.
So, I mean, they got that somebody. So, yeah.
And you got I mean, you got. I mean, even in your backups, you got McCole Hardman coming off as your
Mhm.
fourth receiver.
That's another speed freak.
You
Yeah.
still got Sky Moore. You still got Justin Ross. I mean, Kadarius Toney.
Mhm.
I mean, Pacheco. I mean, that boy was he was running like he was trying to eat kids or something. I mean, the boy was just a monster, man. And you still
Mhm.
got Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Right.
I mean, and in your backups, Carson Wentz. I
Mhm.
forgot about that. That flew under the radar for pickups this offseason. So
Mhm.
uh, I mean,
Yeah.
they got the champs got better, man, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I think they did improve. Let's take a quick look at their schedule before we open up to the callers and see if we got anybody on that. Matter of
I
fact, let
mean,
me
you
take
can
this comment
before we
down.
go. I mean, we can look at their schedule. But Kansas City's not going to play some of these games seriously because I mean, look at the division.
Mhm.
The division is bottomless. I mean,
Well, I would play these games seriously if I'm Kansas City because I'm looking at I don't want to have to go on the road and go through that again to get to the Super Bowl. I want these games at Arrowhead.
I can see it. I mean, yeah. I mean, but they showed they didn't have to be at Arrowhead last year.
No, I get it, but wouldn't you rather be at home if you can?
Absolutely.
It's not that you have to be. Clearly, they showed that. And side note, last year, if you were going to get him, last year was the time to do it. So that
Mm-hmm.
makes it even scarier. Like, are you kidding me? Like Buffalo had a chance to do it. Baltimore had a chance to do it. Like, come on, man. So yeah,
How
but
we starting off? What's week one verdict gonna be?
come on, man. You know what that is, man. And real talk. No, I'm not just saying that, to say it
I do
because
got Baltimore winning though. I
yeah,
do got
I think they
Baltimore winning.
will. And I'm not even saying that's going to be indicative of anything down the road. I just think that they'll win that game. I think they've got that AFC Championship stink on them from
Yeah,
last season, and they're going to want to come out and try to send a message early.
and
So that's how I
for
see
me
that.
personally, I look at who the next opponent is. I think the odds are gonna already be set on just trying to shut them up again. Because I mean, the way what did Jamar Chase say? He didn't mention Patrick Mahomes' name. So Patrick Mahomes already got him
Mm,
on the radar. So he's like,
okay.
okay, oh, you want to
Right,
do
right,
that? You
right.
want to do that this year? You know what, guys? Let's not really focus on Baltimore. Let's go ahead and wait about 10 more days. I want to bust Cincinnati right in the face. I just want them to come to Arrowhead and we just light it up. You know what I mean? So I could see them looking at the next game in a
Hmm.
sense. And then, after that, I mean, they got Atlanta, you got Los Angeles, New Orleans. I mean, they have a favorable schedule up until you get to San Francisco. That's going to be a very, very must see game. But
Must
that's after a
see.
bye week, man. I mean, after a bye
Hmm.
week, get 2 weeks off and you
And
coming
Andy
in.
Reid is one of the best coaches in the game off a bye.
Yeah.
So
And you going in San Francisco, beautiful weather
mhm.
coming into October.
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
That's must see TV.
that's gonna be a great one. They're at Buffalo. That's going to be another one.
That's gonna be a good one.
You know, Josh Allen, he's going to be trying to prove some at Cleveland against that elite defense.
At Pittsburgh,
yeah, man, they got some rough ones.
They got some rough. This road game is gonna be rough for them. It's gonna be rough for them.
I agree.
But I mean, they're gonna win like 11, 12 games. I say minimum.
Yeah,
then I think like towards the end of the season, as they start seeing the playoff picture, they'll then move in that direction. You know what I mean? So
right.
The champs said, I mean, the job is to dethrone the champs, man.
Right. I saw a comment from Steve, and Steve says, I have to think KC is absolutely
you
the
hungry?
favorite. Nah, man, I'm good.
About to cut a promo.
Nah, they ain't paying me. I need a sponsorship before I do that. No, but I have to think KC is absolutely the favorite in their division, but Harbaugh in LA with a talented Herbert could be a factor. So, Steve, I don't believe in Herbert. I'm going to tell you that. I actually covered Herbert's lone playoff game, the loss here in Jacksonville. Was that 2 years ago? I covered that for the Florida Star newspaper. Shout out Florida Star. And watching Herbert not being able to get it done after at one point having a 28-0 first half lead. Nah, there's no excuse for that. If you're what they say you are, you should have been able to pull that game out. That was absurd that you couldn't get anything in the second half. I think they got a field goal. There's no excuse for that whatsoever. Yeah. So, nah, I don't believe in Herbert. I never did. I never saw the hype. Yeah, he's a big kid, big arm, and he's mobile, but great. Where are the wins? Yes, he's had bad coaching, but he's had weapons and he's had solid players on defense. Where are the wins? I keep getting back to it. Where are the wins? And now already he's got plantar fascia in his foot, in his plant foot. So we have to worry about, is that going to be something? No, it's not good. Is that going to be something that may affect him all season long? Now, again, Jim Harbaugh is masterful at protecting his quarterbacks with a sound running game and great defense, but still, you need your guy healthy. So I don't believe in Herbert. I just don't.
Nah, he definitely got to prove it, man. He definitely got to prove it.
He does.
And the way Harbaugh, H&H. The way that he's about to come in and take it around with that offense, you know what I mean? It's I'm not gonna say necessarily it's gonna be in Herbert's favor right away, but Harbaugh wants to get the ground game going. He wants to get the ground game going, but then again, who you throwing to, So
absolutely, Steve. Harbaugh is that guy. Jim, that is. He's not quite as good as John. Now that might be some Ravens bias in me, but no, Harbaugh is an outstanding coach, no question about it. All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and we're gonna open up the phone lines here. 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. Give us a call. Tell us what you think about the AFC West, kind of where you are on who you think is going to take it, and or any other relevant storylines or points you want to make regarding that division. 904-219-8264. Let's get it.
Man, so excited to be talking about football.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? Man,
it's exciting, man.
There's nothing like football season. Like, it's so funny when I was younger, like high school and all that. I was so in love with basketball, college basketball, NBA, and all that. And football came second for me, right? College and pro. Yeah. But as I got older and I saw what was happening to the NBA, I was like, nah, man, football. And they swapped places for me. So now it's NFL, it's college football, and then it's the NBA and college basketball. I don't even know where that is because men's college basketball, unfortunately, has fallen off so badly outside of the NCAA tournament. So it's tough, man. But yeah, it is fantastic to be talking football again. Whether it's pro,
I'll tell you what, man, we may have to move week 1 to like 5:00 because like we're gonna be talking for about 4 or 5 hours, man.
I know, right?
We're gonna be getting so much out.
Yeah,
we're discussing
it's gonna be a ton of content. You're right. Definitely. Yeah, we'll work that out. Y'all never asked you a college football fan, bro?
College football?
Yeah.
The Badgers were my team until they started messing up with my old coach. But other than that, I mean, I root for the Noles out here, man. I've been in Florida long enough.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I do remember
a lot of
that.
my friends went to Florida State, so I actually wanted to go to Florida State. That was my college
Okay.
of choice when I got out of the military, active duty. I mean, I wanted to enroll in Florida State, but I diverted and went, did personal training. Then of course, real estate is, where we met, and things like that. But yeah, Florida State, I root for the most because I have more joy in rooting for Florida State.
That's fair.
My badges, man, ever since Melvin Gordon, we
my
kind of
guy,
been
bro.
falling off, man. It's been
we had
JT
and Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan, that's my man. Yeah.
JT.
Jonathan Taylor's
them boys can tote the rock.
Tote the rock.
I mean,
and facts.
tote the rock, man.
Facts.
Tote the rock.
Absolutely.
So, other than that, but we can never get a quarterback. Boy, it's like
because it's cold up there and you don't have the wide receivers, right? Every now and then you get a receiver. A lot of what like Notre Dame goes through in terms of having the elite quarterback play and having the elite wide receivers. And when you're such a run heavy offense, the elite wide receivers who freaking what up my life your entertainment, those guys who normally come from the South or come from out west where it's warm, they're not going up to Wisconsin.
It's cold, man.
Yeah, it's cold. The offense is
if I ain't getting the ball.
Right, exactly. I'm not trying to be out here to be some blocker,
or getting cardio up.
Right.
Just running routes for no reason.
So I get it.